Before we look to our next matchup, it's time to check in with you guys at home. Earlier, we asked you to share your MSI experience with the hashtag HowIMSI, and here's what you sent in. At CatNYPX MSIs like this, featuring my Doge photobomb. The name there would have suggested otherwise, and it looks like at Megan Silly Life MSIs with her fellow SKT fans going not easy but hard hoon. And finally, at Biasaz MSIs by watching on 12 TVs. That's a lot of TVs, making sure he doesn't miss any of the action. That's more TVs than we have here. And we love seeing how you guys have been watching the game, so keep tweeting those to us at LOL Esports and use the hashtag HowIMSI. As we continue the international competition, we also are celebrating the reigning world champs with the release of the Samsung White Championship skins. We saw Pawn's Talon yesterday. Now we're going to turn to the top lane for a closer look at Looper's newest legacy, Samsung White Singed.
This would make me a happy man if we were to see Singed coming in.
Looper's just running around for chaos, but he might go down as well, trying to get the kill on the core before he gets out of this one, but he's holding his breath, doesn't have enough, the Lantern gets Looper out!
Samsung White, the 2014 World Champions!
I'm really not happy with the number of Singes that are going to be in my game now as a result of that skin. But all of the Samsung White skins will be available starting May 14th alongside the Legacy Esports skins immortalizing Fnatic, TPA, and SKT, which are in store now through June 1st. Now to the matchup at hand, the LPL's Edward Gaming versus international wildcard Besiktas. I think it's safe to call this one a David and Goliath story, but what that doesn't mean is that the Turkish team can't come out and show us something else.
Yeah, definitely. Besiktas had a strong showing against AHQ, probably arguably their strongest match so far, and I think that the fast-paced tempo games actually suit these guys. That doesn't mean they get ahead, it just means I think they actually batten down the hatches really well, weather the storm, and then try and get some team fights in their favor, and I think these are guys that excel in 5v5s, and when that happens early on in the game, I think they can sneak their way back in.
Or a 4v1 in the mid lane.
They also excel at that.
Yeah, but also, coming at each game with something new. I think Besiktas is coming in here with the right mindset. They're getting the most out of every game, and that's what I like to see out of a team. And they're changing every time that they're playing. They're like, all right, let's try Cassiopeia top. We saw it work. Let's try this. Let's try that. And that's going to throw people off as well. If EDG are not properly prepared for them and overlook this, it could be a trap game for them.
Yeah, but I see, when we are realistically, I think that EDG will probably come out ahead here relatively swiftly. Yeah. This is at least what I'm expecting. And as well, if EDG wins this game, I think EDG is the king in the style that they play. They play this really aggressive, chaos-oriented style, and they've beaten all the teams that play this kind of style if they beat Besiktas as well.
Yeah, and EDG, they look more awake today. They had some kind of hiccups yesterday in the interview with their coach. He was talking about the Tristana and the Lulu pick came out because they were a little bit jet lagged because they weren't confident in their mechanical skill at the point. So then now today, picking the Kalista for Deft, picking champions that demand a little bit more from him and aren't as safe. He has to be able to make plays. So today they look a little more awake.
Yeah, the reason I'm actually really looking forward to this game is because everyone sees these games as trap games. EDG has to really switch on to make sure they get the win. And there's a lot in the LPL actually because it's such a long season. And EDG do this thing where they have mind games. They'll pull out like a Fizz pick or they'll throw an Eve in the jungle. They'll do something completely crazy that you'll be like, okay, we're pretty sure they're not serious, but somehow they still won the game and we have to look out for it in the future. Kalista is something that they kept doing this with. Pawn on Assassins and the Jace was coming out as well. As like these are all champions that they can play definitely. To what degree you don't know, so you have to keep on your toes when EDG play this kind of matchup.
And Def played said before in the interview that when he plays Kalista, he's actually showing that he can play the Kalista as well as Bang, who we actually noted as the best Kalista player. So I think maybe he picks up the Kalista again and shows another really great performance.
Yeah, might pull a ban from him throughout the tournament too. We'll see, because that's the mind game they want to throw out there.
That's the matchup I actually want to look at here in this game, is that bottom lane, because we've talked about how EDG is a multi-threat team, but Deft being that major one. He's performed extraordinarily well during this tournament. Nardius, though, is, you know, kind of that hope of a carry for Besiktas. So is that where they're going to win this game from, the bottom lane?
Yeah, I actually think
Don't look at me.
I don't think they will win the game, in all honesty, but I think Nardius is actually a really good player. He plays on EU West, I believe. He's up there in the ranks. He's a very good solo queue talent, and his support player, Dumbledore, also backs him up well.
Dumbledore, that's my favorite support
The
player.
number one
of this tour.
Dumbledore.
He killed Faker, so he's already up there in the rankings of legendary support.
Oh, man.
This sheep rooting for the Doge.
It's such a multi-threat team, though, from EDG. That's the problem here, is you really have to just take care of everybody at the same time. Like Koro in the top lane, you have to keep tabs on Clear Love. Pawn sometimes steps up. He's like the fourth threat on the team. He's the backup. So just shutting down Deft is not enough.
All right, well, with that, the teams are ready, so we're going to head over to the on-site location and kick things over to Riv and the gang in the caster booth.
Thank you very much, Dash. Riv, Atlas, and Kobe still here, and as the teams get ready to draft the champions, let's run down the rosters right quick. On the blue side for Edward Gaming, we have Koro in the top lane, Clear Love in the jungle, Pawn in mid, Daft at AD carry, and Mako on support. And for Besiktas Esports, on the red side, it's Thaldrin in the top lane, Theokoles in the jungle, Energy in mid, Nardius at AD carry, and Dumbledoge at support. Definitely going to be a bit of a mismatch between the lanes here. It's going to have to be an early game explosion here for Besiktas if they want to make an impact.
I really just want to talk about Besiktas and how they've performed coming through here. They haven't picked up a win, yes, but they have been having the time of their lives. Social media has been going off because Energy is hilarious.
Killing Faker, that's a win.
Yeah, and Dumbledore kills
mid-lane.
Faker. Man, it's a beautiful story for these guys. So I'm just really looking forward to see whether they're going to come out having fun here, because we know that Edward Gaming can also have a fantastic time picking up Clear Love's Evelyn randomly and things like this.
They bat out the Morgana that was a first pick.
Unfortunately, we won't see a needlessly large rod stacking Dumbledoge Morgana this game.
Dang it.
Hecarim as well banned out there to make sure Thaldrin.
That's a serious ban, though,
It is.
from EDG.
Very
All right, yeah. So the thing is, EDG, Deft was talking. He was like, yeah, we want to just play strong lanes and we want to win our game quickly.
Yeah.
We want to move through these group stages.
Yeah.
This is going to be very good one-on-one laning experience for every single lane going down the line for all of Besiktas. This is going to be a very hard battle. And Edward Gaming, let's see what sort of early picks they want to go with for strong lanes if they want to go.
Well, there's EDG's Callista being picked up that last game that made an impact. It gets banned out this time.
Urgot on top of it.
And Urgot as well, like you said. Ari goes towards Energy. LeBlanc quickly thrown at Pawn. We're going to see what Koro decides to go with this game. It looks like they may lock themselves in some early jungle.
Yeah, might be that Rek'Sai there for Clear Love, and I like this. Just make sure he sticks with his early pressure, and we've seen his level 2 ganks getting first blood after first blood. May as well stick with it.
If you want to win early game, you want to go with Rek'Sai then.
Or Quinn.
Yeah.
Right, Kobe?
Perfect. Exactly right. Mid lane, of course, right? For the roaming.
Yeah, but I wouldn't actually be surprised if Thaldrin picked Riven here. It's one of his favorite champions. He loves that. They have been playing that over in the Turkish League. And why not pick your favorite champion and have fun?
I'm waiting for the actual lock-in. He keeps hovering.
I know.
Favorite
but
champion.
I just want to see him actually do it.
And I feel like he will do it one of these days.
One of these days.
Sivir definitely made B4 an option for them. Getting into these fights against EDG is going to be something they need to do and make sure that Edward Gaming is always pressured. The Rumble gets locked in for Thaldrin. Definitely can make an impact in the top lane with him.
He wants the best experience you can get. He says, show me your Gnar, Koro. I want to taste. Let me experience this.
Yeah, with that Hecarim ban, that's just about what left is left up. We did see Maokai making a big impact last game. I don't know if it's going to be the same here. Thresh being hovered over by Pawn. That would be a pickup for Mako, who also has his Annie to go for this game if he wants.
Yeah, he can pick whatever he wants here, of course. And Pawn thinking about the Jace. They're a very signature champion for him, but see whether it does actually come through. I actually like Nardius picking away the Sivir from Deft as well. Deft a fantastic Sivir player, but Pawn now thinking about the Gnar. We're going to see it. Koro's Gnar against Thaldrin's Rumble. And this is actually comfort pick versus comfort pick.
Yes, it is. We'll see how they match up. This is exactly what Thaldrin wanted, right?
Yeah.
Top lane experience. Now, the reason that I'm not really thrown by that Jace hover over is because you can't really, since the top lane has been whittled down like this and you're expecting an AD top laner, you can't really afford to run an AD mid laner in the state of the game. In Cinderhulk, there's no way any team gets away with stacking one type of damage any longer, because there will be a tank on the other team that will stack that resistance.
The thing that I'm really scared about for Besiktas here is the fact that Deft is basically undefeated on Jinx. His Jinx is incredibly strong. Jinx does incredibly well against Civil.
Very true, and it kind of seems like Besiktas kind of want EDG to pick these champions that they have all these undefeated and close to undefeated records on, so they can, you know, experience what is
the wrath of EDG.
I mean, by the way, because he target banned the other two.
But it's on the other side, Besiktas also have a whole lot of comfort picks as well. So it's not like Besiktas have lost out necessarily.
Here's what they've got. They've got an amazing AoE wombo combo for Besiktas. They've got the Sejuani Rumble. That by itself is enough to destroy a team fight. When you boost it up with Sivir speed, they have the ability to win one of those 5-on-5 fights towards the middle of the game that they're looking to for the comeback. As Spawn said, probably their best chance here is group up and try and get some AoE done.
Yep. Hovering that Zed, but like you said, Kobe may not be that AD that they need. It's the AP, and they lock in the global, the twisted fate for Pawn here to be making some plays and affect every lane in the game.
The double globals, this is going to be fun.
The Twisted Fate Rek'Sai.
Yep.
So many plays with the
triple
teleport.
global, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
you got to teleport in the top lane. So cross map plays aplenty. It's a very good answer to a team that wants to group up as 5.
Yeah, but Energy probably wants to split push a little bit if he's going to go with this Diana pick, and decent lane matchup there once he hits level 6 against Twisted Fate, you have to think.
Definitely the assassin of choice. Very good chances as long as they don't, you know, come out of laning phase with a huge deficit.
Right. Usually the control is Pawn pushes that in and he disappears from the lane.
Also, the problem is with the 3 global teleports, one person split pushing is never just one person split pushing.
Right.
Could easily have several members teleport in to even the numbers.
Yeah, you can't exactly take the fight to the teleport guy this game.
Yeah.
There's always going to be another one.
The old adage of go to the source of the teleport that I was talking about in season 1 of the LCS is much harder to pull off when there are 3 sources of teleports.
Well, they've actually got 4 global abilities, don't they, really? Because Deft also has a Super Mega Death Rocket he can throw into the fray. EDG can sort of be everywhere at once offering damage. It's ridiculous. But Thaldrin, he's got a teleport as well, so they've got a little bit of global pressure. But we'll see what Besiktas can do with what they've got, because the Oculus on a power pick there in the Sejuani has shown that he can perform well on that one. Nadius can start up the fights with that on the hunt and has shown some fantastic Sivir play in the past.
Yep.
We'll see how this one's going to work out. But they do not want standard lanes. My God, do they not want standard.
Besiktas picking into the fight comp, something EDG loves to do. So we are going to get another game of brawling. We have had awesome games so far here at the second day of the midseason invitational, and it's only going to get better. The crowd is ready to get into these next games as well. And ties could be happening, ties could not be happening. There's been a few games that definitely didn't go the way people would thought today. We'll see how this one plays out.
Yeah. And remember, for all you TSM fans who are very sad right now, you are now Besiktas fans. You are rooting for Besiktas to get a victory here. So Besiktas should win this fan vote if all of the TSM fans are now voting for them.
They move over to Besiktas. Makes sense.
All right, as we load up into our third match of the day, let us know who you think is going to be getting an upset by tweeting at LOL Esports with hashtag BJK win, or use EDG win if you think the LPL representatives will come out ahead.
Yep, this is the only chance that TSM also have to try and get back in this. Be a Besiktas upset, and then some more victories later on.
Well, we'll see what they can do, of course. Besiktas have a lot of comfort here, but EDG, they've got signature picks across the board, and as they move out onto the Rift, I'm frightened for Besiktas here, because Pawn, one of the best Twisted Fate players, of course. It's difficult saying that here at MSI, where Westor's just around the corner showing that he's phenomenal, but man, Koro's now clear loves Rek'Sai. This is ridiculous.
You know what has worked against Pawn's Twisted Fate? Camp him early! Give him like 6 deaths early on.
That didn't actually help.
It worked against his Twisted Fate. It didn't help win the game, but...
Yeah, true. The Twisted Fate did not win. Oh, the flash death sends Dumbledore with quick feet. Pawn actually blows the ghost here as well. Dumbledore, he does have the shield. Pawn, though, still running after him. There's not a whole lot of follow-up damage. Another stun. They're looking for some harpoons around the side, but Dumbledore's just casually walking away. Beautiful crescent slash. Energy getting money out of that one.
Yeah, money and 4 summoner spells.
Yeah.
Double Doge only had to spend 1 to get all of those movement spells. A couple of flashes with the Ghost and Exhaust.
That was pretty hard from EDG, I'd say. They're a little careless as well.
They're like, I saw HQ do it. Let's all go.
No, they're like, I've got a stun, guys. We've got to invade. Let's do heaps of stuns.
All right, so with that played out, EDG, they're going to have a very safe laning phase here. You can attack quite a few things. Clearlove can still get in for the ganks. Maybe it's that focus to the bottom lane. When Fnatic lost their flash, that was the first focus coming in to get support.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is here, Clearlove without flash, so much more difficult to pull off that early move with Rek'Sai. She really does lose a lot of the early power without the ability to close this with not only tonal but as well flash. The thing is, Sejuani, a much weaker early jungler, still can, as we've seen, go for the early gank. However, if they meet up in a 2 versus 2 scenario, fairly difficult to come out ahead. Whoa!
Whoa, and already Nadia's has to blow the flash there in the bottom lane as the death sentence was coming out from Maker.
You wanted to lane against the Jinx from Deft and the Thresh from Mako. You got what you wanted.
So aggressive. The exhaust and the flash is down. The exhaust is up for Dumbledore, but they just cannot decide to trade early with that attack speed increase from Deft, and they quickly gain a lead, 9-2 in CS there.
Dumbledore actually didn't come to lane or come to the Gromp with full health as well after that level 1 action, so narrowly missing there on the death sentence, but sort of already at a deficit after taking that early level advantage.
Yeah, and we'll see if this deficit holds after the wave shoves up to the turret, because there's potential CS here for Besiktas, but the point for EDG is to shove them in under the turret and try and, here's that early focus towards the mid lane of Pawn's TF.
Yeah, Theocles looking for it. Nice moonfall as Pawn's going to flash out of the way. Gold card is available and Energy unable to follow through, but Pawn, no summoners.
Nicely waiting there for the Arctic Assault and then the moonfall, as you said, but there should be a rinse and repeat there, as you mentioned. No summoners on that mid lane, and here comes the Theocles.
Very early, saying wasting no time. We're coming back into this one, but
maybe not.
Does have a ward available.
Curbs it.
Clearlove, get over here. I don't have any more escapes.
Well, with him clearing that ward, they may actually get this advantage. Clearlove sees that, and they could use it just in this second if Energy steps out.
Yeah, both junglers sitting on wards around mid lane. Mirrored opportunities here, and everybody's sad. Pawn, though. Ghost just
there's
came
the
back
flash moonfall though as Pawn's in a bit of trouble. Clearlove right around the corner. Energy eating a lot of damage. Clearlove with so much wildcards don't land. The Prey Seekers there. Pawn is so low. The level up comes in. There's the Pale Cascade. Can Energy survive? Clearlove wants the tunnel. We'll see whether he gets it. There's the Qs and first blood for Clearlove.
Kobe, you happen to say if they met 2v2 with that Rek'Sai early, it would kind of go in favor of the Rek'Sai.
Yeah, it's hard for Sejuani to win 2 versus 2 situations. But Pawn, he burned the Ghost. That was the only one that he burned early on. So while it looked like EDG going really, really deep, Ghost comes back up. Oh, here we go. Clearlove once again.
Yeah, he's caught himself in a 2v1 situation, but doesn't seem to mind about it, as he can just take that Dark Passage to safety. Maker handing that one out to him, and Clearlove's Rek'Sai is frightening.
That's such a great composition. We see it a lot from Wolf and Bengi in the jungle as well. The Thresh Rek'Sai, tunnel in, lantern out, you're good to go. It's so safe.
Definitely nice to have a buddy in the jungle.
Always.
The buddy system working out here for EDG. Koro quite low there on the top side as Thaldrin. He's going to overheat as well. Wants to find a harpoon, but of course he's silenced, so he's not going to be able to. But Koro getting pressured out early.
Yeah, so I always really like watching the Gnar Rumble matchups. It's very telling of top laners and a really good way to judge them because it's so easily tipped. It really depends on who's willing to play more aggressively early on because the first one to get that small advantage can then snowball it, but early on, unless you have vision of the jungler, it's very risky to go that hard.
That was interesting from Koro. He made sure that he wasn't going to regen his health and then teleport. Very strange, but Crescent Slash is going to come through again here for Energy, and Pawn not going to get hit by that one. Continues just to shove out this wave. Thaldrin going to equalize the teleports in the top lane, so no early dragon pressure. He's not even level 6 yet, man. That's not that funny.
I think the teleport before health pool got back up was because there were minions dying.
Yeah, but Dumbledore keeps getting taken out solo. Really nice death sentence, but there are 3 members. Def gets excited as he takes down the Janna. Destiny coming in. Nadius has to be careful. That flare max range was beautiful. Nadius trying to do some work, but Def, he's soloing Theocles. He wants to pick up the kill, flashes for it, and he's gonna grab the sneaky Jinx before falling down. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Clearlove helping Koro get one, and EDG, action everywhere.
Energy's like, where'd it go?
Is that not? Well, Energy, he should have tried to, I think he did try, but he should have tried to go on to Pawn as he was teleporting because he was in vision. But that's probably why Pawn came in with a blue card. But anyways, is there any better feeling of getting ganked by a jungler and coming away with the kill for the bottom lane?
Or a few kills on top of that?
Yeah, and then on the top side, as we saw, this is a matchup that you want to play aggressively and you want to, trade damage without backing down. But if you don't have vision of that jungler, the first jungle gank can change the entire situation up in that top side. And Clearlove's the one to get up there because obviously Sejuani was ganking bottom.
And also now, Koro, he's got the Hex Drinker in his back pocket. This matchup is going to be a whole lot easier for him at this stage.
Just keep up in the face of Thaldrun, try to shut him down. You can see Mako trying to get the wards in so they can now close in. Nardius, they just do this without hesitation. Nardius took a few seconds to look at the minions, and now he's too close to range. Played onto the Chompers, and these guys are using everything they have. A grab onto Dumbledore as well as Def keeps the correct focus onto Nardius, and the 1-2 punch comes up clean for EDG.
There's just nothing missed from Mako at all.
Not at all. Great synergy between that bottom lane. We said before there may be two different languages there, but they play as one mind.
They certainly do. Energy is going to manage to back. He's been putting on a lot of pressure here. Actually, Koro looking for it in the top lane. Thaldrun's going to flash into the wall in celebration.
That tree is too...
So, to be fair, the Hex Drinker had nothing to do with that. That was just 1 versus 1. Outplay, and a really good job of Crow jumping on another opportunity for himself. But man, remember as well, this is the Deft Jinx.
Oh no, defeated across the wall into that jump is Nadius, not going anywhere, and Deft is gonna pick up another one.
The sonar hook.
Oh,
so nice.
Me, that was ridiculous.
All right, which lane is the next kill coming?
Yeah. Let's just wait and see.
Not sure. BJK are definitely trying to stay safe here within these lanes, but right at the front door every time is EDG. It doesn't even seem like they've really backed here. They're always on the side of the map of Besiktas. 9-1 now, 9 minutes in, and the first turret will fall in that duo lane. That is bottom. 69 now, 70-34. That's CS.
Def said the plan was to get our strong picks in lane, win our lanes, and quickly finish the game.
Yeah.
So, check mark on the first 2 for them. The third one, quickly finish the game.
There's the Destiny into the top lane though. Thaldrun, he's been caught out by this Twisted Fate. Going for the turnaround. Pawn taking a lot of damage, but it's not going to be quite enough as Koro picks up the kill onto Thaldrun. 0-3-0 now for this Rumble. He's having a tough time.
You know, I said it seems like they're almost not backing. You guys mentioned 3 pretty much globals on this team. They are always going to be on the map trying to create pressure. You could see
the flash play.
Thaldrun had those wards and still went down. This time EDG is just going to go straight for the fight. Clearlove flashes in for the knockup, and Koro from the top lane here is going to be able to continue the fight.
Yeah, and Dumbledore's going to fall down. Double kill for Deft. His energy's going to get exhausted. Koro, he's burning down. Is he going to die? Meganon not in time as Energy picks up the shutdown. Nadius could be in trouble. Mega Death Rocket sails by, but Deft is getting the turret tank for him, gets excited and runs away from the Rumble. And 8-1-2 now for this Jinx. This is ridiculous.
This is also going to be a lot of mid lane pressure. Should be able to take down the turret as well. And EDG off to, you could say, a good start.
Yep, you could say. 7,000 gold to lead at 10 minutes, 11 minutes. This Clearlove's going to take away the Raptors, probably going to escape as well as he's quite low on health.
Keep it on par with more kills than minutes again.
That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. But they're on 16. at 11 minutes. That's a lot more. That's more than we're used to.
Trying new things.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens now. They put Deft back towards, not back towards, but now in the top lane to start cleaning up CS, continuing to focus a lot of power into him. He's already turned on, just spent another 1,800, so he's just going to level up to Super Saiyan now.
Deft has 6,000 gold on him. 11.5 minutes into the game with 8 kills.
It's more than double the gold.
Yeah, you look at the other side.
3.2 thousand gold ahead of his lane opponent.
All right.
Gosh.
Well, let's see. Besiktas, what can they pull? Defensive warding helps to an extent, but the other team has Twisted Fate. So trying to pull a 5-man ambush from a bush, you know, with some vision, still probably the best hope. However, pawn pop result, everyone gets found. Yeah, there it is.
The Besiktas Esports Club standing true behind their team. They are putting up one hell of a fight here against EDG, who is just trying to close that stranglehold down here. Besiktas now hopefully getting these team fight compositions together. There is a game-changing ultimate from Theocles that can come in, but they have to be able to follow up perfectly, because even if they hit everything spot on, I still think it's going to be a hard fight for Besiktas to pull through.
And EDG do have a lot of their gold on Deft as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, theoretically, if Besiktas managed
to
destroy him early on in a fight, they might be able to get something done. We're looking for a way for Besiktas to get back into this one. We'll see whether they can actually manage to follow through on that, because they're losing their turrets. They're going to have to try and find that fight sooner rather than later.
Yeah. All right. So more likely, we'll take a look at how quickly EDG can execute the victory here, because this is their goal now.
Yeah.
You mentioned the time before. Time does matter in the tiebreaker situation.
Right.
So the quicker you can end these games, the better. If something crazy happens and a tiebreaker does pop up, not quite sure. I don't think that a tiebreaker for them would pop up now, since they did also beat Fnatic. But it's also best practice.
Yeah.
To win games quicker.
Certainly is. Besiktas, though, are positioning around this mid lane. Got to stay together here just to try and answer the fact that EDG have so many globals. If they get caught on their own, there can be a whole lot of friends available in the Chinese lineup.
Really not able to defend these wards either. You see him quickly being taken out, and it takes quite a few members just to regain those little parts of their jungle.
Yeah.
Pawn and Mako, the roam team here. The rest of the map, or the rest of the team, I should say, up top, and it's going to be Deft by himself in mid. They are 2-1-2ing this with the AD carry mid.
Yeah, of course, the safest member of the team in the mid lane.
All those escapes.
All those escapes.
20 seconds on to Dragon. They probably won't need the full team for that either. But like you said, guys, let's get that time in there. EDG is definitely resting a little bit before they make this final push.
I think it makes sense here, because Deft just hides behind his money.
It's a big wall right now.
Yeah, it's a big wall. Gonna keep him safe.
Or he will just beat you in the face with his bag of money,
yeah.
Kill you before you can get to it.
That'd work too. Whichever way.
We've talked about how much it would hurt being slapped in the face with 6,000 gold. Be pretty painful.
Yeah.
So they're able to keep all 3 waves pushed while pulling 3 members back for the objective. EDG, you can say that is complete map control. They still have some minions up top and control of both of these bottom 2 waves. So if they collapse here, should be able to get that last outer turret before returning to base to buy. Took a little detour here for Deft though, so a few minutes or a few seconds he's gonna have to walk all the way back from the red buff. Now though, he does have the red buff for the shove, and they still have control of the bottom lane as well as mid, so they should be able to collapse and make their pincer.
Yeah, and Deft is very, very conscious of this CS deficit statistic that we picked up of 17.5 behind, because he is doing his very best to try and change that one.
When your sample size from the first day is 2 games,
yeah,
you get some overblown statistics like that.
You could. Now,
now he wants to blow him out of proportion even more in favor of himself.
Or is this just going to even it out? So now it's about where it should be. Not sure.
Well, we'll see if he can still do anything on that 8-1 and 2 Jinx. We know him to be very good at AD carry in general, but using those summoner spells to make it look even better. It'll be hard for Besiktas to get to him. We did say there's a lot of gold on him. I don't know if that's going to be everything they need if they just take him out in a fight. Pawn now to the bottom turret by himself. Oh my word,
Man.
just 2 spells putting Thaldrun to half HP there.
We're not used to seeing TF doing that much damage at 16 minutes into the game as well.
The Sivir wave clear might not be there in time for this wave. They could get a good chunk of damage before she arrives.
Well, going to have to arrive fast with a Jinx. Those turrets are going to fall very
not
fast.
That big a chunk.
Oh,
Good
nice
spell
spell
shield.
shield.
I like your thought.
Yeah, I liked yours.
It's the little things now.
That 12,000 gold lead is making it hard for Besiktas to guard their base, but doing so ever so slowly now. They
and-
find a few of their picks. The Achilles just off on the slide. This Glacial Prison
great spot.
to Deft would be what they need. The choppers go down. Deft flashes out. There's the summoner spell used to get him into position. Here comes the Destiny.
Oh, the
and
Gnar!
the blowback as well from that Gnar. Koro coming in huge, and they are going to continue to wall up this fight.
Yeah, Theocles getting down solo as well as Deft picking up more kills. And after that incredible, now EDG just roll over the fight.
And Sejuani looked like it slipped out of his hands as he was charging there.
Oh, energy coming in, Pawn's going down solo! The ace comes down, but I love the hero play from Energy.
Loves to do it. We've seen him taking Barons on it, trying to get a few kills for himself
Put him in the
there
pitch
to
up.
put up on the board, exactly. And the first inhibitor will fall here as EDG cracks the base.
At 17 and a half minutes.
Right.
Jeez.
Talking about speed, since the new season, this is one of the fastest inhibitors that we've seen on back of a 19-2 score here. So let's take another look at the Achilles. And he got into a great position. But here is where you see it's a little greasy on that. Sejuani ultimate goes to skew. And from then, goes downhill very quickly. Deft, he does have that red buff that he went back to go grab before coming to shove. And that'll be enough to chase down Double Doge and get the reset on his passive. Whew.
Oh dear. There's a lot of damage, and I like this from Energy. He's got the emergency build. I want heaps of sticks. I'm gonna hit him with heaps of sticks.
Gotta go nuclear.
Yep, he's got him. Got the dynamite,
Blast
ready to
one.
take him down. It's actually, you know, if you're in an emergency situation, pick up as much flat ability power as you can just to try and weather the storm, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not quite Dade-esque where he just builds Magi's when he's losing by a ridiculous margin just in case he can get something from it. But I like it from Energy. I've got 860 gold, guys. What do I buy? Blasting one.
Yeah, he's playing the wizard game. They're just stacking wand on top of wand. He's going to make one super blasting wand.
That's right. He's got to clear out those rings and get 2 more for himself. See which way he decides to go with it. Deft again on the front line of the mid push. This time he's got a few buddies there. Onto the tank as well. Theocles not even able to take the damage that Pawn is putting out from his Twisted Fate.
Wand
he
is
gets
out.
the fast feet on that one. Dodges it, but he cannot dodge out 3 members. The damage he traded back to Besiktas there, still big.
Yeah, it was, but can't survive against 4 members of the team as the Super Mega Death Rocket comes through. Energy just tanks it up. Not sure what that was doing. So everyone else managed to get back to base, but Super Mega Death Rocket just in protest of the death of the mid laner of EDG.
Need the fireworks skin for Jinx.
Yeah.
Shoot him off in honor of Pawn. A noble sacrifice. They did shove up both the mid and bottom though, and so they're knocking at the door once again. Pawn does not have his ultimate, so he'll have to walk his way all the way back up to the rest of the team. And that means that they may just retreat for, well, Baron's up. You know, it's 20 minutes into the game. Have they ever taken one right on spawn? Nope, they're just gonna bait it.
Yeah. They know the fight would lead them into the base. Usually it is a prerequisite. They have to check off Baron first before they go in.
Oh, Theocles.
Yeah, they're going to cook this one up. Got a little Sejuani for dinner. They're going to back off now. The Baron should be theirs. It only took a few members to get that in for him. And we still see Besiktas trying to clear out the base here. So Baron up for EDG. And they're going to go straight for the base.
Yep, just 20 minutes into the game. Baron was prepared. 30 seconds late on that one, we're EDG, but we'll give it to him. They take that one down very easily. First Baron of the game, 7 turrets to 0.
It's all Pawn's fault.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have died. They would have had that sucker on spawn.
Yep. I'll have to have words to him afterwards.
We'll see what he was really thinking in the interview. Dragon is alive. It looks like they just want to objective clean up around the map as well and get it objective free. No worries, no cares in the world right now as they are up quite a bit of gold.
We talk about 10,000 gold at 20 minutes being a problematic margin, but when you're at about 20,000 gold at 20 minutes into the game, that is absurd. And you've got a Bilge Water Cutlass on your Gnar at the same time. Theocles once again caught out. Pawn's going to use the Destiny. Super Mega Death Rocket sails by as well. Through the wall to the side as Nadia says, nope, I'm not walking into that one.
Koro going full damage here.
I like it. All death sense onto Thaldron. Aptly named as the Gnar comes in as well. Energy gets exhausted as Deft picks up that kill. Theocles, got it. Sorry, is still dead. And Nadius trying to get some damage back. EDG are fairly low, but man, look at the damage from Deft. As he's just going to take down that poor little Sivir. Dumbledoge able to get the exhaust off, but Deft being the hero flashes over the Arctic Assault. Triple kill. Theocles comes back alive. Quadra kill for Deft.
The okie doke. Deft just like a matador right there. Sejuani runs right past. And that could be the game.
Oh, the celebratory deaths on the fountain. His energy looking to pick something up. And he's gonna fall down, and EDG, they get the rest of the job done.
What a game from EDG, the fastest game so far coming out of the midseason invitational at 22:30, 27-3. EDG take down Besiktas.
Oh man, that was just pretty brutal stuff from EDG. Not really much more to say. It's
Job
20,000
well
gold.
done.
Yeah.
That game, very well done there from EDG. And they delivered on everything that Deft said they would in the interview. Talk about timely victories. 22 and a half minutes here for EDG. Very, very promising for them moving forward.
Absolutely.
At the MSI.
The thing in the beginning of the game, EDG went a little hard, very careless with their summoner spells, but at that point, Deft and Mako should not have been able to come to lane and quickly push out Nardius and Dumbledoge in that situation. It should have been Nardius trying to do that early damage, knowing the exhaust was down on Mako. They lost a big advantage there in that early part of the game.
Bottom lane was definitely brutal for them.
And it was just Mako and Deft showing off how incredibly well they played together as a unit as well. I mean,
absolutely.
These death sentences across the side coming through, and man, they're a frightening bottom lane to contend with no matter who you are.
Absolutely. And for a closer look at EDG's win, let's check in at the analyst desk.
Thank you, gentlemen. With that win, Edward Gaming have clinched a spot in tomorrow's semifinals where they'll join SKT and AHQ, as well as one more team to be decided later today. So there's still an opportunity for any of these teams at the bottom here to get up into that fourth slot. We'll figure that out a bit later. But breaking down this victory here for EDG, very methodical. And as they mentioned, you know, with Deft's interview, they're starting to execute on everything they said they would coming into this tournament.
Yeah, it wasn't a trap game at all. They came at it full force. They didn't pull any punches, and the fact that they brought out Jinx showed that they weren't even going to use this game to try something new. They're like, no, we want to crush them as fast as possible. We want this game to be over with and move on to the next one. So that was a big display of power from EDG.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is something which you should hold account for EDG, that they didn't slack off. They really wanted to win the game from the start, and I think, yeah, good coaching. Nobody actually fell behind, did anything random. Pawn here and there got maybe a little bit caught out, but overall the team just went full steam from the beginning.
Good coach.
I actually couldn't believe the Jinx pick coming through as well. That's a pick that we expected to see when we saw the Tristana, and you saw exactly how strong it is, because Thresh Jinx is so good in a 2v2, but also a 2v1 lane. You saw the flay onto the chompers. That is so much CC that can come through, and they're pretty good at the lane.
By the way, I have to say, I love the triple blasting wand there by Energy in the mid lane. Just all the AP, that's thrift shopping right there, taking a lesson from EDG in thrift shopping. But again, this just points to what we were talking about earlier with their attitude about the game. These guys are going at it. They're not admitting defeat. They're going to take all of the fights they can. We saw them trying things, looking for, brushes to camp, even in those giant deficits.
Yeah, and that's really interesting, because we saw in the international wildcard, they were happy to take Rumble into Gnar, and they were pretty much punished for that matchup in the end of this game. So I think that their top laner, especially Thaldron, would have learnt a lot going up against Koro in that lane. I think they've taken a heck of a lot away from this tournament in general, and it's not every day you get to play against those players.
I think that's their mentality too coming into this. So shout out to Besiktas and the way that they play the game, because even in international wildcard, they would have huge deficits, 6-7K gold, and they'd keep playing to win the game. They never got into the defeatist mindset where they're like, this game's already over, let's just play for the next one. They're always getting as much as they can out of the games.
Yeah, I think also just to touch on my point before, the only time I actually saw EDG a little bit overextended was the 4v1. You can't 4v1 Dumbledore. He invented the 4v1.
I love it. All right, well, I do want to look at EDG a little bit more, as they did drop that game to SKT, but they are looking a little bit more in form here, maybe dealing with some of that jet lag. And as they move to, well, we'll talk about this in just a moment. I'm going to interrupt myself because we have our interview ready. We're going to toss it over to Shocks for a word with our winners.
Thank you so much, Dash. I'm joined here by Koro after that victory that locks EDG in the playoffs as well. First off, congratulations. Now, Koro, you've had a good tournament so far. A lot of eyes were on the mid lanes, but it seems that it's the top lanes that have really taken charge. What do you think has been the most important for a team strength?
很恭喜你们今天的比赛。进来 MSI 很多人都觉得是中路很重要。不过现在看很多上路，其实上表现其实上很好。你觉得是哪个更重要？
我觉得中上都很重要，但是中路是节奏点，因为你中路有优势，你能推线，可以帮助上下取得优势，也可以帮助打野取得优势，所以我觉得中路在前面的，就是节奏能力上更强。
I think both mid and top lane are very important, but personally I think mid lane plays an important role in controlling the pace of the game, because if you're winning, you're able to help snowball top and bottom lane. So I think in the early game at least, mid lane is very important.
All right, in the early game, mid game most important, then the rest of the game, top taking over as well. As said, you've had a good tournament so far. Yesterday, though, versus SKT, you couldn't really prove your worth because of the way that game went versus Marin. You guys are locked in the playoffs. If you meet him again, what do you want to prove in that matchup?
你们昨天和 SKT 的比赛，你打的也不是特别出色。如果你们在 playoffs 能和SKT 再见面，你和 Marin 在比赛，你想证明什么？
如果我们再遇到 SKT， 我会证明我比 Marin 强。
If we meet SKT in the playoffs, I will show that I am better than Marin.
All right. Well, maybe we get to see that. And the final question, you've locked in your spot now in the playoffs, as is SKT and AHQ. Are you surprised at all at the way this tournament has went and teams of the regions that have shown up and done well?
你们已经进入 playoffs 的，和 SKT 还有 AHQ，就是你看这个比赛 AHQ 能进入，北美的还有欧洲的不能进入，可能不会进入，你有什么看法？
我觉得只是说 AHQ 现在的状态比较好，并不能说就是说欧美那边的队伍没有我们就是中国队伍强。就是说最近 AHQ 的选手状态比欧洲那边队伍的状态好。
I think it's the recent performance of AHQ has been really strong. Their players are performing really well. Not necessarily that the European American teams are weaker than the Chinese or the LMS teams. It's just that currently it so happens AHQ players are performing really well.
Well, that's a nice way to look at it. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Good luck in the playoffs. As for us, back over to you, Dash.
Thank you, Shocks. Dash, you got rudely interrupted before. Please continue.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I do actually want to talk about EDG and SKT because they might come up against each other here in the semifinals or the finals of the tournament. And we heard it there, some big words about who will come out on top next time. Do we believe that EDG, the way they've performed today, are back in form and can give SKT a run for their money?
Yeah, like any good one-sided analyst, I have completely thrown out the performance against SKT yesterday. No, in all seriousness, I think they do have a shot, but I think SKT are looking very dominant.
Yeah, they definitely have a shot, but the fact that Koro's talking about being better than Marin, I think that's going to be a fantastic matchup to watch because that's going to be a head-to-head clash, and Marin has been having a fantastic tournament so far.
Of course, that's a match that may come. We have more matches at hand here. I want to look forward to our next match, SKT versus Fnatic here, because Fnatic needs to win this game. They're in that group of teams down there that are vying for that final spot. What are they going to do to get a victory here?
Yeah, I hope that Fnatic is pulling out a really aggressive play style, maybe going for tower dives in the early game, maybe lane swap and go for this 4v1, 3v1 dive. And I think that SKT might, with the over-aggressiveness in the early game, gets a little bit shaken up. But I expect SKT to actually be really, really strong and just show their dominance.
Yeah, I expect this to be a game where is it EasyHoon or Faker playing? Because
it's Faker.
It is Faker. So
Faker.
I actually thought this would be a EasyHoon game because this is one of those games where you can put the brick wall up in the mid lane, and I think just focus on top lane and try and shut Hooney down.
I feel like SKT's being really nice to EU and NA. They're like, you guys get to play against Faker. Don't know if you'll get to do it later on in the tournament, but here you go. You get this opportunity to play against the God of Death.
Well. I think that Fnatic at least can make a run for the money.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. We do have to take 5 or 3.5 to be more precise, but don't touch that dial because when we come back, it's a clash between former world champions as SKT Telecom T1 takes on Fnatic.
We will directly go to playoffs.
Yeah. Really? Yes. 100%?
Yes. 100%,
This is happening, Nardi. Believe.
Def gets excited as he takes down the Jedi. Destiny coming in. Nardius has to be careful. That flare max range was beautiful. Yeah, and Dumbledore's going to fall down. Double kill for Def. His energy's going to get exhausted. Koro, he's burning down. Is he going to die?
Flashes out. There's the summoner spell used to get him into position. Here comes the Destiny.
Oh, the
and
Gnar.
the blowback as well from that Gnar.
Able to get the exhaust off, but Def being the hero flashes over the Arc to get sold. Triple kill. Theocles comes back alive. EDG, they get the rest of the job done.